Who's the villain now? Hi everyone, welcome to a brand new video in which I tell you 4 things you should know about the Flash Season 3 premiere. I was lucky enough to watch the first episode and I'm super psyched for you guys to watch it because it's gonna be awesome. I'm not gonna spoil what's gonna happen in the episode, but I wanted to tease a little bit of what you can expect. So here are 4 things you need to know. Before I start, I wanted to let you know that we are not gonna be reviewing the series this season. However, we will hold a live Q&A every Wednesday after the episode has aired at 10 a.m. Pacific time and 1 p.m. Eastern time. The first thing you should know is that this episode is really all going to be about the consequences of Barry's decision. Basically, the consequences of Flashpoint. Some of them are going to be pretty good, especially for Barry, who's going to get to enjoy part of his life that he feels that he's always been missing on. So that's going to be good for him. Some of it not so good in the sense that some of our favorite characters are obviously going to be going through some turmoil because the life that they would have lived had Barry not made that decision, well, they didn't live it. So there are some consequences to this. And I'm mostly thinking about Joe, who's not really having a good time in this particular timeline. Some consequences, though, are just plain evil, especially regarding the way Barry is dealing with hiding his secret. It's just, I gotta say, very Zoom-like. That's the best way I can say. That's really how Barry's dealing with this, which is pretty terrible. Speaking of Barry, the second thing you should know about this episode is that we're going to see a very different Barry than we're used to seeing. I would just sort of like describe him as a more chilled version of Barry, more like carefree a little bit, because he has all the advantages of knowing everything that's going on, knowing about the timeline, yet it's different enough that he doesn't really have to sort of like experience some of the hardships that, goes with living that timeline from beginning to end. So he's sort of like, hey, I just arrived and I'm experiencing this and it's kind of cool because I know all this stuff, but I don't even have to deal with all the negative stuff. So it's kind of like a mixed bag, but at the same time, it also makes him a little bit too carefree because he makes some mistakes, some really, really big ones along the way, and obviously it's gonna have some consequences. Which brings us to the third thing you should really know about characters. In this episode, all the characters that you have grown to know and love are different. Some of them are different in really subtle ways, some of them are different in really big ways. My favorite is the difference in one particular character, namely Caitlin, who in this timeline has picked a very, how do I say this, interesting career. Very, very interesting career, which leads to some really funny moments in this episode that I really can't wait for you guys to watch because I loved it. It was really funny. And there are other big ones like Cisco Ramon now being rich. You guys have seen that in the trailer. Yeah, so Cisco's rich, but Cisco is not really the Cisco that you guys have all grown to love. So he's got a little bit of that still, but yeah, he's very much different. I like old Cisco way better. The last thing I want you to know about this episode is that beyond what's going to happen in this particular episode, it will have consequences that will be long-lasting into the rest of the season in a very, very, very unexpected and I would say somewhat frustrating way that I'm just like, no! What? Oh God. I know some of you are not going to be happy about this, but I cannot wait for you guys to find out, what it is, because, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. So frustrating. So there you go, guys. This is all I could tease you about this upcoming episode without spoiling it. So I hope you enjoy the premiere of Flash. I really enjoyed it, and I know you will, because it was awesome. After you've done watching it, make sure to come hang out with Sandrine and I as we do the live Q&A Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, for you guys to come and talk to us, and so we can just debate and talk and discuss and just, speculate. Speculate galore. Anyways, guys, that's all I had. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our great videos coming up next. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye. You know, the last point, I wish I could be more specific, but there's really no way for me to be specific unless I'm gonna just spoil it, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. It's real. That's not who I am. That's just not who I am. It's about. I said it. I said it.